Hey Nicole,
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yay. You sound so cute.
All right, we're going on in five. All right, guys, this is another exciting panel hangout session. Last week we had an awesome session, awesome panelists. It was a all male panelists talking about female issues. Today we have an amazing all female panelists, and we're going to be discussing men. We have the lovely Nicole, the lovely Flower Child, and the lovely Renee. And then you have me. So if you guys want to give a quick introduction, introduce yourselves, and we can get it moving. Renee, you can go first if you're there.
Okay. Um, First of all, I'm at volume because I'm gonna do karaoke after this, and I don't have a car. So if you see like random weird people walking past me, that's why. I don't know any of them, and hopefully, I don't sound as argumentative vocally as I might sound when I'm typing.
All right, Nicole, you up next.
Uh, Hi, I'm Nicole. Um, yeah, that's about it. I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. Fluff Child.
Hi, I guess everyone calls me Flower Child in the group, but you can call, well, not like anyone can answer me back, but others call me Charlie.
All right.
Um, I have green hair and I'm 28 for those who may not believe and say, who's this little girl? No, I'm 28 and I'm grown, and yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Okay. Well, we had a very provocative question that Marlon wanted me to ask. I know some of the ladies are going crazy right now, but I'm going to definitely ask this question. Every moderator has their own style. I'm going to give you a piece of, I'm going to give you a microphone. I'm going to give you a very provocative question just to start off this session so we can try to spice it up and wake up Nicole a little bit. Marlon's question is, why y'all bitches be freaking out when a nigga get a little side piece? Y'all expect a whole nigga just to be for yourself? Why y'all so selfish? That's the question Marlon asks. Basically, I guess it's straightforward, but wants to know why do females are so sensitive to men that want to explore his options if he's pretty much not in a dedicated relationship. Um, Ladies, you can take it away from there.
Well, honestly, for me, I know I've been in situations where there have been men who might have said they wanted to date other people, and I say, okay, fine, I'd like to date others as well. And that is where they have the problem. So a lot of women might have an issue with the fact that the dude feels like it's cool for him to go out and meet this one and flirt with this one. But if she even look at another guy's direction, oh, it's a problem, you know? So it's not fair. That's my opinion.
Well, I think men continue to have this caveman mentality, not only in the Bahamas, but you find it, the world over, where they want to have their cake and eat it too. And that's not fair on the woman. If you're in a dedicated relationship, you should be able to control yourself. If you are not in a dedicated relationship, well, everything and everyone is fair game. But once you are in a dedicated relationship, keep it zipped up. That's all I have to say.
Mm. Renee?
I forgot to unmute my mic. Okay. The way I feel about it, I haven't traveled that much. at least not as an adult. So I've got movies to base my knowledge of the rest of the world on. But as far as I know, with the Bahamas, we have a thing where we don't really date. It's starting to slightly change a bit, but like we really don't date or anything. We just do like, hi, nice to meet you. We're in a relationship. So I think a lot of what happens with that is kind of like feeding off the feeling of being stuck because there never is that period normally. I don't like I said, I don't know how it is in other parts of the world, but normally over here, like there isn't that period of I'm not in a dedicated relationship. So I
Yeah.
think that might be why over here we have like such rampant sweethearting and stuff because there's never a period when you're single.
All right. All right. I'm going to ask a more pointed question that's going to be a little bit more structured, a little bit more civilized. Last
I
week
see your face, Nicole.
we had a panel that that the males had the audacity to have a panel based on females, the arrogance. But doesn't such a panel now females speaking towards male issues? Because I think Roberts, you asked this. I'm questioning why are men qualified to speak on women? Um, Interesting question, but we can turn that around and ask what makes women qualified to speak on men.
Because we live in a male-dominated society. We live the world over, men dominate every social structure, every economic structure. They're even trying to dominate traditional female roles now. The discussion that happened a couple of days ago where men were trying to talk about women, I thought was kind of when I first logged on and I thought, what are they talking about? I was thinking that it was kind of unfair because men don't ever give women the benefit of the doubt. They don't give them, any sort of sympathy, any sort of empathy as to what we go through on a daily basis trying to deal with them. So that's why I kind of jumped in and thought, no, 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 no. You guys have no idea what it's like to be a woman. But I think just a little bit, we have an idea of what it's like to live in a male-dominated society. And it's very one-sided, very one-sided.
All right, Renee, I know you don't like generalizations, but wasn't that a generalization? I mean, come on now.
What are you doing? That's not how you moderate. No, you avoid fights. Stop it.
No fights. I'm just asking the question. Um,
Okay.
Take
Yes,
the
it was
message.
a generalization, but to be honest, the way she worded that just now, that's a fair generalization, but in the same respect, you have to accept that it's a fair generalization that women are moody or women don't know what it's like to never know if the child is theirs. Hi. Good night.
Charlie, you can jump in if you want to, because I have something to say after that. So jump in if you want to.
To piggyback off of actually both of the other panelists, I think that the issue is that men get to dictate so much of what women do. Don't wear this because then you're not going to find a man. Like, even women who say that, it's because of the male, I guess, dominance. Their father might have taught them that, or they grew up in a household where their brother could kind of bring any girl home, but it's like, them, no, you can't have any boyfriend. It's like, come on, I'm 21. Like, realistically, I will date, but they don't, it's weird. So I think that the issue is men always have a say and we never really have a say. So it's like when a man decides he wants to talk about a woman, it's like, oh, again, like, and even sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I would see on Facebook, you would have fellas saying, ladies, in order to get a man, you need to this. And it's like, why do you always have something to say about women? Like, but then if we say something about men, it's a problem. Oh, we're bitches or whatever, you know? So I think that's why a woman may be able to speak on men's issues or dealing with men more than a man should be able to speak on dealing with women. But I mean, I think men should be able to have some say, but I think women overall should have more of a say. So I think the sentiment might have been more like, it's tired, it's worn out.
Wow, these are some very interesting takes. As a man, I think I could speak from a male's perspective. I think you guys are being a little bit harsh. I think men try to appease females in almost every aspect of our being. We capitulate many times to avoid many circumstances. And if I'm hearing it right, it seems you want to transfer of power, not so much to be equal, but you're trying to tilt the scales somewhat. And I don't know if that's to me that's not a viable way forward. To tilt the scales and where the transfer of power is dominated by just females. So if on one spectrum it's not good for men to have all this power and be so dominating, why should it be acceptable, Charlie, if females have turned it around and then turn around and start to dominate men? I don't know. I think that's a contradiction, huh?
I don't
I
think
don't
that.
think that. Oh,
No, go
go
Oh,
ahead,
ahead, go
Nicole.
ahead. No, I was saying I don't think we want to dominate. We just want parity. We just want to be on the same level, have the same access, have the same ability to what apply for the same job and be considered first before you, be able to have a say in how the household runs. When women get married, we're expected to be submissive to men. I mean, that's the whole thing. The minute you're standing up there with the priest and he's talking about, well, you have to be submissive to your husband, and that kind of sets the tone for very much in Bahamian society. It's very much a male dominated society, and women have been kind of carrying the suitcases or carrying the briefcases from men for the past 50 years, and I think it needs to change.
anybody else want to jump in there? All right. There's a phrase.
Me?
You had something and you wanted something to add. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a phrase that's been going around called
I say yeah.
there's something to say going
I'll remind you about your phrase.
you got something you want to say,
I
Renee?
agree partly with what both of them said, but I feel like the link that's missing is the whole we've been dominated, we've been sub sub what's the word, subjected, we've been looked down on, we've been lower class citizens, whatever, but the fixing is the issue. The method of fixing stuff in general, from what I hear from the average feminine community, when I say feminine, I mean like, because not everyone's female, is, sorry, that was stupid. Anyway, is that we're trying to fix it with more of the same, and that's not how you fix things in general. You have to accept the fact that yes, this happens. Let's teach them not to do it. Or yes, we do this. Yes, they've done this. Let's change that by showing that we can do without it or whatever. But let's not sit. Let's, for instance, okay, let me start again because I don't know what the hell I was saying just now.
Yeah, try
The
to
thing that
balance it
I
out.
feel is the best example of the difference between the feminine or the female mindset and the actual reality is the toilet seat. And most of the females may not get that, but I'm pretty sure the average man would be like, oh yeah, I can see your face right now, Glenville.
Ain't got
Oh yeah,
nothing.
the frickin' toilet seat. There are no females that I know. No, I lie. There's two females that I know who it has occurred to, and I'm not speaking generally, I mean personally me that I know. I'm sure there are females that think differently, but there are two females that I've known in my entire life who it has even occurred to that leaving the seat up is the same thing as leaving the seat down. The man has to pee too. And a lot of times a female will be the only female in a house full of males, and they still each have to lift up the seat and put the seat down. No one is lifting the seat up for the man, but the man has to take care of both. And no one sees the hypocrisy in that, and that gets to me. It irks me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop now. I don't even know what my thought was, but I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever thought about something like that. Interesting concept. Men said they get beat up over toilet seat, but I don't think that's a big deal for men, generally speaking. But last week there was a phrase thrown around called male privilege, and to some aspect of it, I think that's true. When I pull up at my home at night, I never give a second thought of somebody coming and trying to rape me, or when I pull up to a gas station or whatever it is, I never think someone's going to try and jip me because I just know stuff. Granted, but on the flip side of that, by definition, there should also be something called female privilege. Females get away with almost by the way you guys look. You're very sexy, you're very attractive, and you're almost well, not almost, pretty much a naturalness for men. So even though it's said that we tend to dominate this sphere, females tend to be very resourceful in getting to what they want, even though this climate, like Nicola said, is dominated by men. So speak to this female privilege, because I'm sure it is true.
Interesting. Very interesting. Um, I still believe, though, we may have privilege in some things, but I believe that what we have privilege in does not really affect the price of tea in China. Like, let's be real. Okay, yeah, we got out of a ticket, but a ticket is just a couple $100. That's not really life or death. That's not, if I walk in the street in shorts and someone rapes me, I'm blamed for the rape because, oh, she was wearing shorts. She should have been wearing a long dress. If a dude gets robbed, I mean, I don't really know many times that he really gets blamed for the robbery. It's like, oh, it's real bad or whatever. So, my thing is the privilege that we may have, it's like nothing. I mean, that's like saying, oh, immigrants come here and they can find a job. Okay, yeah, but they have to deal with so much other stuff that, I mean, that's one facet of it, even though a job is important, but I'm just saying that's one facet of life. So what we have privilege in, ain't nothing. What y'all have privilege in, y'all straight, y'all legit, y'all good to go.
I want to hear Nicole's take on this.
Well, male privilege definitely exists. I don't know if this thing called female privilege exists. It's exactly like what Flower Child said. I mean, it's something that's so tiny, so minute that all of a sudden men are trying to blow it up into something to compare it to the fabulous benefits that they have because they have a penis. Women got the right to vote in the Bahamas 42 years after women got the right to vote in the United States. 42 years. We didn't get the right to vote until 1962. Even after we got the right to vote, voting in the household was dominated by the male's perspective. Okay? Men are the first ones to be considered for jobs. They are the first ones to be considered for any sort of political position, any sort of social position. And what do women get? I mean, seriously, when we talk about this thing called female privilege, it's just simply men trying to assuage their bruised egos, their overinflated egos, I mean. Yeah. There's no such thing as female privilege. Not every woman looks like Kim Kardashian. What do the ugly ones do? What kind of privilege do they get? Okay. What tickets do they get out of? You know? You know? Come on, please. I mean, yeah. There's no such thing as female privilege. None. None. You know, for every favor that a woman gains, she has to give up something. She has to give up a part of herself. That's not a win. Okay? No. Male privilege exists. Women, female privilege, we're still working on it. We're still working on it. Mm.
And then you want to jump in there? Get something to add?
Um, I disagree with the whole we're still working on female privilege thing, but because this is females talking about males conversation, I'm not going to get too deep in it. But just because I am the one who brought it up in the first place, I'm going to say a little bit. Uh, we do have female privilege, and that's a reality. Men have to worry about things that we don't even think about worrying about. The ugliest of us, the poorest of us, have certain what's the word, advantages over the average male as far as relationships or any conversation that any issue that stems from a relationship, no matter what type of relationship between the two genders goes. Like I said before, men have to worry about if the child is theirs. Females never have that issue. A female can be a crack whore and stands a better chance. I'm exaggerating, of course, but a female can be a crack whore and stands a better chance of being awarded her children in court without any type of contestation. A female does not have to do the hunting of, let me not say hunting because that was a big fight last time someone mentioned hunting. But anyway, not hypothetically, figuratively, the hunting of a male. The ugliest female is most likely in a relationship, not because they sought out a man, but because a man sought them out, regardless of what the man is or who the man is or how sexy he is or what he has to bring to the table. The average female does not have to work. Like, the average female can go to a job they may not want to. That might irk them that males feel like they need help. But the average female can go to a job and be helped by their male counterpart with their job, and no one says, oh, well, you need to get fired because you're not pulling your weight. They get their job, they get their pay, the man gets his pay, whether it's a bit higher or not. That's something that needs to be fixed, but that's a whole other topic.
Okay.
And a man could help them with all of that, and that would never happen with another male on male, unless it's, of course, a homosexual relationship of some sort. But on average, females have certain privileges that they need to admit.
Let me say this then, because what I'm getting apart from you, Renee, is that females tend to be in a, I don't know if I can use the word dire situation, but it's not optimum. I don't know if that's a true reflection of our times. Granted, yes, women had to fight for certain rights that are inalienable, and so we have been lagging as a global society in terms of uplifting and trying to do what's right by females. But I think in this time, I don't think it's that harsh. I don't think at least in this region, I don't think the kind of climate that females exist now, I don't think is as harsh as is being said now. There's a strong push for feminists. So females are getting a lot of gains. There are more females in school, in college, that are, at least in this country, that's tend to be um, more accomplished. So I don't think the rhetoric lines up with the reality right now. I'm not saying the struggle is over, mind you, but I don't think it's as draconian as I don't think it's as bad as I'm told here. So what do you think, Nicole? What do you think?
I, 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 I think you must be joking. The only reason why women are excelling in education is because men dropped the ball. Men dropped the ball. Women had to take up the ball and go with it because what happened? What happened? Men all of a sudden, after emancipation, there was this huge rush to education because we didn't have it before. Then
Well, let
all
me
of a
ask you this.
sudden, the men started
Mhm.
tapering off because, granted, yes, they had to go out and work, they had to provide for themselves, and if they stayed with their partners or with their wives, yes, they had to provide for them. Okay, fine. Then we move into the 1900s, the 1920s, the 1930s. Men started to drop off from education even more. And then we have the present situation today where there are less black men graduating from university than there
Mhm.
ever has been. So, yes, women are excelling in the fields of education. They're going to university, they're educating themselves. It's only because A, most of them are single parents. B, they have to provide for the household. It's just them and the children. And three, men have dropped the ball. They have actually dropped the ball and left black women hanging. And this is not just in the Bahamas, this is especially in the United States, and it's even happening here in England. So that's my answer to your question. The only reason why women are excelling in education is because we had to. We had to do it. Otherwise, we'd all be, you know,
All right.
still washing dishes and cleaning floors and all of that. So we had to kind of push forward and make those strides.
Well, let me ask you this
Well,
then. At least,
oh, sorry.
oh, go on.
I
Go
actually
on,
just
Charlie.
wanted to,
You could.
yeah, I actually just wanted to say, I think the amount of women in school has something to do with male privilege because a man can, not finish school, still get a construction job and make, $500-$600 a week or, a good amount of money that he can provide for a family. Whereas with a woman, I mean, if your husband or your man or whatever cannot provide to pay all the bills, you have to find a job. Any job that a woman wants to get, whether it be an office job or something, she has to have some sort of education, whether it just be a high school diploma. A guy can drop out of school, still do some construction job or work on a boat or something and make good money, have a trade or something, make good money and provide for a home. So I still think it's a trickle down effect of male privilege.
All right. All right. You know, I think I can have empathy, or at least we all. I'm gonna have empathy for both sexes. But I think it's a learning process. Men and our perception tends to crash into females and what they think. So it's a learning and growing process, and we don't have all the answers, but I think we're trying to figure it out along the way. So I think we're going to agree to disagree on that male female privilege thing. Let's get down to emotional. Why are females so emotional? I mean,
Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, did he just say that?
why are females so emotional when it comes to certain aspect? Like I just said the word, why are females so emotional? And Nicole head almost exploded. It's like men can take a few hits, or why are females more emotional than men? Am I wrong for saying that? Can I say that?
Glenn, I'm just wondering, which sex carries the baby? Which sex has to be up all night with the crying child? Which sex has to have the baby, get out of the hospital, and be back to work after 6 weeks? Which one has to be on the job and leave her job? No, She can't take lunch. She has to leave and have her lunch in the afternoon and use that lunch hour to go run and pick up the child, take them to granny or whoever after school class or whatever, come back to work, still go home, cook the food, wash the clothes, clean the floor, put the children to bed, and be ready again the next morning. Now, when we talk about women being emotional, it's because we have this burden of being mothers in society. We have this, not a burden, we have this privilege, I should say. We have this privilege of being the primary caregiver